Hunter Steinkamp from the Booster here at Scottsburg High School. I have with me Mrs. Karen Perry today, who's just finished giving her presentation from the NOPE, or NOPE organization. And we'll have her introduce herself and tell us a little about her position at NOPE.
My name is Karen Perry. I'm the Executive Director and co-founder of NOPE Task Force. Following the loss of my son to an accidental drug overdose, I, along with several other family members, co-founded the organization in an effort to prevent further tragedies so no other families would have to go through what we had suffered.
Okay, so can you tell me maybe some of the main goals of your organization?
Well, our goal is to increase the average age of first use. Right now, the average age of first use across the country is at a low, so at low numbers. It's starting way too young. We're seeing kids starting at age 11, age 12, age 13 using drugs and alcohol. And our goal is to raise that so that, first of all, we don't want them using drugs at all. But as far as alcohol is concerned, we're trying to get them to wait until the legal age of 21 to start to use alcohol if they plan on using it at all.
So is there a certain potential area of substance abuse which you would concentrate more on than others, or that you've seen to be more of an issue?
Well, we focus on substance abuse in general, on addiction. Right now, the current trend and what we're seeing across the country is prescription drug abuse. It by far is the biggest killer that we have seen. In studies and research that we have done, 90% of overdose deaths in our area, back in Palm Beach County, Florida, are caused by prescription drug overdose. The coroner deaths here in Scott County shows that 47% of the deaths are due to prescription drugs as well. So it's an alarming problem across the country, and that's really what our focus is right at this point.
Right, in Scott County, we're one of in Indiana, about the highest county statistic-wise for illegal and legal drug abuse. Speaking of that, would you say you concentrate more on illegal drugs and see more problems with illegal drugs, or legal drugs such as alcohol and tobacco?
Well, alcohol is always a concern, especially if we're talking underage, then it is an illegal drug. It's illicit, and that's what people have to realize. It's legal for 21 and up. Same with tobacco is legal for, I believe it's 18 and up, and below that is underage. And quite frankly, tobacco is one of the biggest killers, with lung cancer and all the other diseases that it goes with. It's really why you would ever start. No one who starts smoking cigarettes likes it, but they continue, and I'm just not sure why.
Unsolved mystery among us.
But prescription drugs by far right now are, again, is illegal if they are taken by someone that they are not prescribed to, if they are taken in amounts that they are not prescribed, if they're shared. If it is illegal to share your prescription drugs. So again, you talk about illicit and legal. Prescription drugs are only legal to those that they're prescribed to. So anyone else using them or abusing them, that is illegal as well.
Okay. So I understand that NOPE will try to allocate anyone with an addiction with the best fit treatment. So how is this financially paid for, and what types of treatment do you commonly give?
We will help them find the right treatment, and based on their needs and their means. We partner with the Hanley Center and the Karen Center, which are nationally known treatment facilities, and they will They will do an assessment of the person for free, and even if it's over the phone, if they're out of state, they can do an assessment. They can help the families find an interventionist if the person needs that type of help and intervention on a person that's not admitting to their problem, or they can help them find the right treatment center that suits their needs and their means. In other words, there's several people who do need treatment for addiction have other problems as well. You know, young girls may also have an eating disorder. So there are treatment facilities that can concentrate on both of those things across the country. So Hanley and Caron Center can locate the best treatment center based on their needs and their means, meaning their financial status.
Okay. So in your opinion, why do you think those who do pursue treatment and those who either die or can find rehabilitation on their own, why do you think that substance abuse becomes a problem in general? I think it's a result of peer pressure, feeling like you lack something within yourself, or anything in that area?
I think there's a lot of reasons. I think for the young people, what we're seeing in some of the graphs that you have done here in Indiana, it appears that most of the kids who start using drugs are doing it just because they want to have fun. And that's the highest peak. But other than that, it is peer pressure, social, emotional. Person may be depressed and start to take drugs that way.
So is NOTE primarily dealing with a younger age group or all ages in general?
We actually, our focus is to prevent drug abuse, and by preventing that first use, as we mentioned in some of our presentations, 45% of those who start using at an early age or in that underage group have a chance of becoming addicted versus 10%. So we want to make sure that we get them up to that 10% area, because that's a large number, 45%. So we're focused on that. We're also focused on educating physicians and healthcare workers on the dilemma that we're faced with families, communities.
So would you say that the teenage age group is probably the most at risk for substance abuse issues?
They are, because you get that early, because their brain's not fully developed, first of all. So they are at risk of becoming addicted quicker than an adult would be. And again, they don't understand the consequences of what can happen to them. And that 13 to 18-year-old age group they're risk takers anyway, by nature. They just don't understand the consequences of some of the things that they do.
Right.
Be it taking drugs or, running out in the street in front of a car.
It seems to be more of a thinking in the now instead of in the future
Right,
tense.
right.
So in presentations such as today's, how would you, what kind of reaction would you typically expect from the audience? And how does that compare to the reaction you had in presentations in Scott County?
Typically, we will have kids, we have the silence that you heard in the audience here today. That's typical of any presentation that we have.
Silence with some, and some
Whether
clearly
it's
emotional.
middle school or high school. In some audiences, the whole entire audience will be crying. And in other audiences, they may all just be very quiet and observant. However, many times they're the ones that will contact us following the presentation.
Right.
So we always get some form of contact from several kids, sometimes from a lot of kids, anywhere from 1 to 40 kids will contact us, or their family members will. So we always get some results.
So do you have a rough estimate of a number of how many people you get to speak to in a year's time?
Personally,
Or as an organization?
We have several chapters across the country, so we speak to roughly 100,000 or more students every year.
So that's very, very good. So how did you find yourself coming to Scottsburg and Scott County? Was it through the CEAS or?
Yes, it was. It was through the CEAS. They had seen us live on the Sunday morning show.
Okay. So through some type of media, that's kind of how your word gets spread. People see you from on the news or in a paper or through your organization's publications.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you tend to come to places?
Yes.
Okay. So is there anything we've talked about today or anything we haven't covered that you'd like to add?
No, just that I really have enjoyed being here in Scotts County, and that I really hope that all continue the good work that you're doing to prevent this issue.
Well, we certainly thank you for coming to Scott County and for your time with the booster.